the alignment that is present. So it gives us that stability and that security to know that we're channeling the intelligence that we need to channel. And the people that need to hear it will hear it. And the reason why we share, the reason why we step into different ways of giving, different ways of the act of service, is because we ourselves are maturing and having grace and having anointing to allow ourselves to step into that and to really love deeper and to see everybody as inseparability. So when we can see ourselves as the awakening, if we can see ourselves and experience ourselves as the awakening of the I Am Presence and see that within somebody else and see the ecstasy in that, but also see the learning ability of that, but also the moment of teaching. So there's a change inside of us, and then there's a change inside of the other person. Rather it's financial, rather it's spiritual, rather it's non-physical. So all of us are giving an energy transference. So it's not necessarily that we're rubbing off on each other, but there's an energy transference, and also there's an energy interference, because we're allowing ourselves to receive what we need to receive, what we need to open up to. Not everybody is going to receive from everybody, and that's okay, and that's what's beautiful. Some people will not receive from Tony Robbins. Like 3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to receive from him, but then I actually listened to some of his messages, and they inspire me now because I was at a different standpoint. So some of us change and some of us grow, and some of us, like, there's some people that probably will never listen to me again, but that's okay because they don't necessarily need me, and that's a beautiful thing. They don't need to listen to me, and I wouldn't want anybody to feel like they needed to listen to me, because that's not authentic and that's not real, and that's not true channeled power. Power is when you channel from the embodiment of source, and it's channeling that intelligence, so that intelligence allows someone else to have an energy transference so that they can alleviate the distortion, so that there is an interference to where they are able to separate themselves from the lack of attention or the distortion that is present. So a lot of us think that there's always a way to do something, but somebody could do something and it could hit a certain nerve more than you could do it. That's why when we have the passion and we have the fire and we just channel ourselves authentically, people resound that within their hearts, because we're not beating around the bush, and we're also not trying to be a people pleaser. We're not trying to say a message that people are just going to like. We say a message that they need to hear. And one of the important things of this message that I wanted to get across was, know what you're experiencing is very much real. So know what you're experiencing is real, and don't question it for a second. Know what you're tapping into is very much real. The angels, the guides, the circumstances that we were protected from all of our lives. We've always been chosen since the day we were born, or incarnated on this planet, if you will. Because I believe we take a vessel as a soul. Take isn't probably the proper word, but we encompass this vessel, we take hold of this vessel as the soul. So we allow ourselves to create from that standpoint. We allow ourselves to understand that experiencing reality is experiencing the awakening, and allowing ourselves to not waver and have security and faith and stability in the ability to know what we're doing is very much beneficial, and it is helping somebody, and it is generating something within their heart center. There is an energy transference. There is an elevation of energy. Even if like I watched something at a retreat, like online, of this person who's very anointed. And this person was very angry, like talking to them, like, I don't believe what you say, like, you're full of shit. And then what happened was they were sitting across from each other. And as she was sitting in front of the person who is really anointed conducting the retreat, she was seething with anger, but then suddenly it just kind of went away. It just kind of went, whew. And the energy changed because she was sitting across from him, because he was able, without doing any energy work, to clear that anger and give her clarity. And there was this telepathy that was exchanged from them. So we don't even realize, like, a lot of people, like, if they love being around you, you bring them a sense of joy. Okay? Like, if they love being around you, they love it when you smile, you light them up. Well, it's because of your energy. They wanted to be around you, they saw your smile. It's because your energy made them feel good, right? We have this intrinsic ability that human beings have undersold themselves. And we have this ability to love, and we have this ability to bring that psychic telepathy to another person, to bring the change in them, but also it brings the change in us. So it's a two-way street when we're, like, giving readings, or if we're giving a third eye activation or something of that nature, because it's as if their heart is renewed, and it's as if their mind is renewed, but their soul is completely different. So that is very beautiful and profound, because it's not only the change within ourselves, but it's most important about the change in them, the recipient. And it's like, this is why I love live feeds, and I've gone live for 3 years. It's because I'm actually connecting with a person. They're hearing it right off of the cuff, right off the fly, and then they're sending a like, or something I said just blessed them, and they thought about it within times of meditation and contemplation. And then maybe I did a meditation and they were like, wow, that totally revamped my consciousness. That totally changed the organism within me, my DNA encoding. And it just allowed me to heal, or allowed me to pick myself up again, to redesign my focus. So one of the messages I wanted to emphasize was that experience everything that you want to be real with that vivid intention. Because everything that you're experiencing is real. The awakening, the mass awakening, is very much real. There's a lot of naysayers, there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of doubters, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of opposition. But none of that has to do with our own individual path. And it's learning how not to attract that to ourselves. Because I see it all the time online, especially on this app. I've experienced some things online on this app particularly that I've never experienced on an app before, even Facebook. And I thought people on Facebook were crazy. But people on TikTok are even more nuts. And I'm saying that lightly. I won't go into the details, but you get my point. It's like, I'm going to do this rather someone hates what I'm doing. I'm going to do this rather people like it or not. I'm going to do this rather I'm in the position that I am, or even in the place that I'm living, or if I'm homeless, or if something changes within my life in the matter of 24 hours, I'm still going to do this because that's my heart and my passion and my drive to continue this journey, because I've been on the path for 3 years, and why would I give up now, right? Why would I give up now? There would be no point. So I'm going to check in with my guides, because we're going to do a meditation, so if you want to take part in this meditation. Also, if you want to go to my YouTube channel, White Wolf the Oracle, Instagram, whitewolf4741, and BitChute, whitewolf the Oracle 23 _ @, book private sessions for $70. for an hour, and also $60 for a healing session and $50 for a psychic class if you want to take part in that too. So one of the things that I wanted to get across vividly in this feed is to know that the divine never leads us astray. The divine never puts us in situations that we cannot handle. And the divine always gives us so much love and so much care that they will always find a way to reshape you and mold you as if you are the clay, give you a renewed heart, and give you a sense of grace and action. A lot of us are anointed. Some people are awakening at 50. Some people, like myself, awakened 3 years ago. But it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with gender, age, skin tone, background. It doesn't matter if you came from the church. It doesn't matter if you came from Mormonism. I don't know anything about Mormonism. I've heard some stuff. I don't resonate with it at all. I used to be a Christian, believe it or not. I went to a Baptist church. We all come from different places. But sometimes God's source energy, or even Jesus himself, will put his hand out and show you another way. And I can comfortably say that I was saved from the divine. And that was a hard message to swallow, that I was saved from the divine and from my own situation and from the things that I experienced in life. And like some Christians use the term saved, right? Well, I do believe that we get saved from stuff. I know for a fact that I've been in 2 car accidents and didn't have a scratch on me. I know for a fact that there's been things in my life that should have happened, but I was always protected. So a lot of, I'm saying that because I know a lot of you have experienced that. And just know that the divine saves us from having everything cost us and everything limit us, and also living a life undesired. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a meditation. So allow yourself to focus on an object. Allow yourself to lay down, if you will. Allow yourself to just relax your shoulders and your neck. And also take a big deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One last time. Now breathe at your own pace. And you can also breathe through your nose, and you can breathe out your mouth. And just know that what you're experiencing as the direct I am presence is aligning to that absolute reality that wants to know you once again, because infinity wants to know you, but also your psychic atomic energy wants to know you once again. So we need to have the ability to love and receive, and we need to have the ability to open up even deeper and greater and be vulnerable and to share. Because once we share, we give, and then we receive. So there's an energy transference and an energy interference, if you will. So there's always a way to be, and there's always a way to conduct yourself. But we should not limit ourselves to certain spiritual behaviors that are acceptable. Instead of being our authentic channel, instead of being a being of harmony and balance and love, and really allowing people to experience reality once again, to help them experience reality once again. And what I mean by this is to have the alchemy, to have the inner child, to have your imagination, and to see that it's not a false awakening. You haven't been sold something. You have not been misled. But you are exactly where you need to be on this earth plane. You're exactly who the person that you're in vibrational alignment with right at this moment. And just know that you will generate different ways to use your soul craft, to use your soul love, to find out the spiritual origin of the I Am Presence. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of static, there is a roar, but you can choose to ignore it and live by what you prefer instead of something that you do not prefer. So we can allow ourselves to completely just tap in from our solar plexus chakra. Because when we vocalize from here, and it comes from the chest, and it comes from authority, and it allows us to use that divine masculine. And just because something is masculine does not mean that it's overly manly or toxically manly. But it's really just having that unction and that authority and that discernment to really use your chest as a way to vocalize what you want. This is how you stay level-headed. This is how you stay more calm and precise when certain things arise. And there's a level of maturity and wisdom that is there to help you and guide you. So when something or a being, because I don't believe things are things, even though I say that word a lot, but when something is intelligent and not derived from a hypothesis or a theory or an experiment, but realizing that you're the divine instrument of enlightenment, if you will. You're the instrument that conducts, and that is the conduit of intelligence, if you will. So seeing ourselves as that, we're seeing ourselves as a vehicle to create, to demonstrate, to alleviate, and to also just put everything that we don't want in that ball of energy and sending it back to the sun and letting go of it. No attachments, being more non-attached. But also it's just coming from your authenticity, like I said earlier. When we allow ourselves to do that, when we have complete allowance, that's very powerful. Because it's not just saying that, but it's really just implementing it in a very powerful way. Because you're allowing the generation of energy, the individuation of creation, but also the multiplicity of it and the simultaneity of it, if you will. So it allows you to be calm. It allows you to be collected. It allows you to find your center of cosmic gravity. It's kind of like thinking about something. It's like every time that I'm live, I have either an energy drink or coffee, a 0-calorie energy drink. And I have to think about the person that is making me pick up the cup and drink it, if you will. But what was the thought of it? What was the energy behind it? Before it came into fruition that I had to pick up that cup of coffee and take a sip. Because we think it's like the brain tells us to do this and that, or our brain tells us to be sad, our brain tells us to be angry at this person. But then when we awaken, we see that that actually is not the case. That's actually not the case. So we see that it's actually what we're allowing in our energetic field and what our energetic field is made of. And knowing that we don't have to take anything on in our energetic field that does not need to necessarily be there. So that means like thoughts, certain emotions, certain patterns, certain circumstances or experiences, or a way that we act, or if we have an attitude. It's all of those things, and we've all done it. I've done it, you've done it, and we've all done this. But now we're awakened, and we have that psychic protection at our tool belt, and to protect us from energy and to clear energy. It's the ability of reception, but also it's the ability to place your energy and allow your surroundings so that you can have an energetic force field of electromagnetic kinetic source energy. So this allows you to simulate what you're experiencing is real, your inner child, your angels, your dragons, your fairies. All of that is very much real. 0 point creation, very much real. It's like the Himalayan masters, how they were able to do things that were very physical, that were very taxing, or they were able to walk a far distance in the matter of like 10 minutes. You know, and people will argue with you and say, like, how did they get there? Well, they knew of that divine alchemy, the Himalayan masters, and they used it to the best of their capabilities. And even Tibetan cultures, where they would take a rock and they would be able to put a symbol in the rock itself. So it's also the same thing how Jesus created water out of a rock, or like God did, if you wanted to be very specific. So it's all of the same origin, and it's all of the same energy, if you will. So we all have the ability to levitate, to attune to these gifts. It's just the ability to receive them and also use them in a kind, loving way. And that goes for everything in reality, everything in life. If we're doing it from a sense of being kind, being loving, and being generous, then everything else is just fine. And everything is as it should be. As God made in the image of the I Am Presence, but also you as the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom. And so it is. So I hope you guys appreciated that meditation. Also, know that you can book private sessions with me for $70, healing session for $60, and also a psychic class for $50 if I get enough people on the class itself. Also, YouTube, whitewolftheoracle, Instagram, whitewolf4741, and BitChute, whitewolftheoracle23_@. Know what you're experiencing is real. The awakening is real. Your gifts are real. Your emotional sensitivities are real. Your triggers are real. It's actually the realest thing. And it's just detaching ourselves from the illusion and seeing what's out there and seeing what's real. So I want to thank you guys. God bless, and namaste.